Alright, so today I'm going to try and figure out how to fly my FPV drone actually in full manual mode, and we've got a couple noodles. We're going to fly through these, so hopefully I don't destroy any blades today, but I have hit the ground before, so who knows what's going to happen. We'll get the pool noodle set up somewhere out in this little field. Found it's kind of by my house. It's a park. There's not a lot of people here, but there's a bunch of trees and rocks I can try and fly around, but I really don't want to fly around the rocks, so we're gonna start with pool noodles. But anyways, picked up like this super Chinese backpack for the drone, but now I can actually carry it, and it actually works pretty well. It was like 60 bucks on Amazon, so I got to get started with the goggles. And I've also been flying it not so much in manual mode recently, and so I have to change it over on the actual controller. So on the back side here, you pop out both of these covers. All right, we're back. I had to go get a knife. I couldn't get this open, so they are super hard to get to, but once you get them, it's not so bad. Or if you have fingernails, you might be better at this, but I do not. There we go. Finally got it open. You got F1 and F2, and basically all you do is you just loosen up this side, so that way you can not have your throttle jump back to the center, because it's actually going to become a throttle when you're in manual mode and not a height adjustment, which is basically what it is for all other drones other than your FPV drones. So alright, so F1, F2, this is for the throttle side. We want to make sure, and so I'm going to go for F2 and screw it all the way in until it gets tight. Now, this is super wobbly, right? So it'll stay there. And F1, it's either in or out. We're gonna find out. Just need to bring it back to center. Definitely not out. Let's try in. There we go. So I just added a little resistance. So F2 loosens it up. F1, so F2 you go all the way in. F1 you also go all the way in as much as you want for resistance. So that's actually a little much for me. So I might just back the F1 off a little bit. So that's closer. There we go, not too much resistance. So now, that's gonna be my throttle, and it's gonna stay in place. So that way, if I wanna just hover, I can leave it there, and it's gonna stay. All right, we can close that back up. Time to get everything powered on. We got our drone ready, goggles are ready, remote's ready. Let's go flying. Just for your information too, it is only 32 degrees out here today, so it's a cold day to be flying, but we're at the bottom level for the drone. Just crazy, every time. Alright, so I'm gonna be sitting on the tailgate, flying over here. I'll stick you guys over here and hopefully you can see something cool, or you know, probably not any crashes, I hope, but we'll find out. I took the drone off in the park and switched it into manual mode right away by hovering and lining up the sticks as prompted in the goggles. After I got a feel for flying in manual mode again, I started to make some passes through the noodle. I was feeling overly confident after the first few passes. One thing I noticed when flying this drone too is that if you use the crosshair on the actual goggle screen, it makes a huge difference for lining up your shots as you're going into these tight little spaces. Before I had it off, and I'm definitely going to keep using it. It's a little weird for filming, but it makes a huge difference whenever you're actually trying to send it through a target. Then I had one run at the noodle. I wasn't quite lined up for it, and that's when everything went wrong. after I hit the pool noodle with the drone, I was able to bring it back down to the ground. It was a little shaky at first, and I also tried shutting off the motors when I was close to the ground just by putting both the sticks to the center, but apparently you have to hold it there for longer than I wanted to, and that's kind of why the drone went all sideways as I was coming down to the ground, and I ended up just landing it as normal. So I'm glad the entire arm didn't break off, but I definitely need to learn how to shut off these motors because that's going to be important going forward. Sit rep. Smoked the pool noodle with the drone. I thought it was going to be okay, but I definitely cracked the arm here. That's a bummer. So messed up one propeller pretty bad and then cracked this arm, but I'm pretty sure I can just buy a new arm and wire it in. The motors are still working fine, everything else. So well, I suppose that's part of learning FPV, but you're never gonna get better if you don't push it. So I gotta go order a lot more parts.